Dudes, all beef hot dog. Language is amazing. And we've got little words that can prove it. I'm going to talk today about some of my favorite words in English. They have 2 letters each. Are prepositions. A preposition is a word, the way I usually define it, a preposition is a word that describes a relationship in either time or space. Right? So an example of time would be before. Right? There's a relationship. So this was before that. In space would be something like above. This is above that. I'm going to talk about the words in, on, and at. Now, if you've ever studied Latin, you know that prepositions are pretty crazy, weird things. More beef hot dog. Think about this. How would you explain the word beyond? Or how would you describe the difference to someone learning English? How would you describe the difference to yourself, even, between words like beneath, below, and under? So, in, on, and at. I have taught English as a foreign language for 20 years. Also, I have taught Spanish for 20 years. Did you know that there's only one word in Spanish, Portuguese too for that matter? Viewers will know that I am Brazilian. There's only one word in Spanish and in Portuguese that does the work that in, on, and at do. So imagine being a learner of English. You have to be made to understand the difference between in, on, and at, because just one word does all those things and covers all those concepts. And perhaps you've never even thought about the concept of at, right? Which I think is pretty amazing. It's a lot easier going the other way, right, for learners of Spanish. You know, they just have to remember that this one word does all those things. But, you know, so I would draw and use models to explain this, right? So I might draw a lake and draw a boat on the lake, and then draw a boat in the lake, like sunk under the water, and then draw a boat at the lake. At is the most difficult because at is like an imagined point, right? So when I draw a boat at the lake, I would usually draw a car with a trailer pulling the boat up to the lake. So, hey, I'm at the lake right now. Or I might draw a little man, stick figures, of course, on a car, and then in the car, and then at the car. Hey, where are you? Oh, I'm at the car. I'm by the car. I'm at the imagined point that is the car. I think that's pretty nifty. So, the reason I'm making this video is to share that niftiness with you. I was listening to some Britisher. Beef hot dogs are where it's at. This, by the way, is the best mustard. Yellow mustard. None of that Dijon nonsense for me. I actually like Dijon mustard. The Brits say, at the weekend. We say, on the weekend. And, you know, the logic, I think, for the American way is, well, we use on for days. That's another thing I would have to do with myself. I would get a calendar and a penny. And I'd sort of trace how we do the prepositions we use for days, weeks, and months, and years. On Tuesday, on the 21st, okay, in a week, then in January, and in 2024, but then at Easter, at Christmas, these imagined conceptualized points of time. Fascinating stuff. Anyway, at the weekend or on the weekend. Well, for us, well, it's on Saturday, on Sunday, on the weekend. We're imagining the weekend in the same way we imagine other days, whereas it seems that the British imagine the weekend as a point, right? Or we say, my cousin is in the hospital, and Brits will say, my cousin is at hospital. They're imagining hospital differently. They don't even use an article there. I find this stuff absolutely fascinating, and I'm just making this video for you to delight in that with me. Comment below if you thought that was cool. And if you thought it was lame, pile in there and say that. Good stuff. Peace of Christ be upon you.
What day is it today? Remind me.
It's Sunday, Mr. Pinch.
Sunday. And what do we do on a Sunday morning, wherever we happen to be? We go to church, you bloody heathen!